We have built the most sophisticated optical and radar surveillance networks in human history. Yet, when we point these arrays at the sky, we cannot agree on what we are seeing. The conversation immediately fractures into two extremes. On one side, incredible claims of extraterrestrial visitation. On the other side, official dismissals from the highest levels of government. To find any actual signal in this noise, we have to strip away the internet speculation. We need to look directly at the most heavily vetted, declassified military data and peer-reviewed astrophysical studies available. When you isolate that raw data, a distinct pattern emerges. The entire debate is a tug-of-war between hard physical evidence and deeply rooted human psychology. The mystery in our skies is a rigorous test of our own cognition. It forces us to ask if we can process reality objectively without letting our internal biases tilt the scale. We start with the skeptical view. The U.S. Department of Defense established AARO, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, to investigate decades of classified archives. After reviewing the military's own data, their reports reached a definitive conclusion. There is no empirical evidence of any extraterrestrial technology. Even physical evidence has fallen apart under scrutiny. When alleged crashed alien spacecraft materials, like purported terahertz waveguides, were brought to the Oak Ridge National Laboratory for metallurgical testing, the results were clear. They were ordinary industrial alloys, carrying entirely standard terrestrial manufacturing signatures. This heat map shows the results of a rigorous Bayesian spatial analysis. Mapping over 98,000 public UAP reports reveals a distinct pattern. Sightings cluster into tight, dense geographic nodes. Those geographic clusters overlay commercial airports and military installations. The data indicates that the majority of UAPs are misidentified human aviation, drones, balloons, and aircraft viewed under poor lighting or unusual angles. So why do thousands of people report seeing otherworldly craft? Psychologists point to mythology projection. Throughout history, humans have interpreted unexplained events through the lens of their current cultural anxieties. Modern drone sightings act as the secular equivalent of historical angel sightings. Logically, the bulk of the phenomenon is conventional, terrestrial material. Our emotional desire for cosmic companionship is what inflates these misidentifications into an ongoing mythology. Yet, cosmology provides a counterweight to that skepticism. Based on data from the Kepler Space Telescope, mathematicians estimate there are between 300 million and 6 billion rocky, habitable zone planets in our galaxy alone. Statistically, extraterrestrial life is a probability. Despite this high mathematical probability, the universe remains quiet. The SETI project has analyzed 12 billion candidate radio signals from across the galaxy and found 0 confirmed alien transmissions. This absence of contact is known as the Great Silence. This silence places a heavy burden of proof on researchers, occasionally leading to mistakes. Recently, scientists claimed the James Webb Space Telescope detected dimethyl sulfide, a gas produced on Earth exclusively by marine life, on the exoplanet K2-18b. Follow-up studies demonstrated that this detection was likely a false positive caused by instrumental red noise and data binning errors. Models also showed the gas could be produced through non-biological photochemistry. This false alarm reveals how the pressure of the Great Silence can influence scientific judgment. When researchers face a universe that appears empty, there is a documented risk of lowering the standard of evidence in an attempt to find the first sign of life. In the void of space, the desperation to find a neighbor can manipulate our logic, leading us to mistake the quiet hum of our own instruments for an alien greeting. Pointing out false alarms does not close the case entirely. A stubborn percentage of UAP incidents remains completely unexplained, captured not by civilian cameras, but by multi-sensor military platforms. A peer-reviewed kinematic analysis of these military encounters evaluated multiple radar and optical data points. By calculating the physical movement of the objects in incidents like the 2004 Nimitz encounter, physicists measured accelerations reaching up to 1,000 g-forces. These objects performed these maneuvers without generating sonic booms, without displacing the air around them, and without producing the massive thermal exhaust required by known physics. Conventional aerospace technology would disintegrate under a fraction of that stress. Even AARO acknowledges this gap. In an October 2023 incident, they confirmed that 40% of a highly tracked event could not be explained by known flight logs, drones, or weather. Because of the hours-long loitering capability, they provisionally categorized it as unrecognized technology. For decades, this radar data was sidelined because of the Smirk factor. The emotional and cultural stigma surrounding the topic caused pilots and scientists to fear for their professional reputations, leading to a restricted data pipeline. The Smirk factor reveals a flaw in our approach. Institutional fear of looking foolish has proven just as effective at blinding us to physical anomalies as the absence of evidence. The reality of the phenomenon is a mixture. Genuine, unresolved physical anomalies are buried beneath a high volume of human error, conventional aircraft, and natural phenomena. We are slowly isolating the signal. The recovery of macroscopic interstellar objects, like the anomalous fragments from the Cenios meteor salvaged from the ocean floor, proves that tangible materials from outside our solar system are reaching the hands of civilian scientists. True scientific discovery in this field requires a shedding of ego. We have to walk a thin line, rejecting premature beliefs and false alarms while remaining open to data that defies our current understanding of physics. We must stop letting the fear of ridicule dictate what we are allowed to study. Simultaneously, we cannot allow our desire for cosmic companionship to degrade our scientific rigor. The universe is vast enough to harbor profound anomalies. The ultimate question is whether human cognition is mature enough to look at the evidence without our own reflection getting in the way.